Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Doc Jock Show. Today, I feel like I need to have a bar next to me that says like loading. So I'm loading a rant right now. And the reason that I'm loading this up is because throughout the end of the year last year, the start of the year this year, people are talking about detoxes, which we've talked about, we've addressed. You've been to my webinar, hopefully at this point. But when it comes to hormones, I'm fed up with this. Fed up with these guys. I'm fed up with endocrinologists, to be honest with you. So anytime I see an ologist at the end of a degree or end of a category, then I automatically assume that they know nothing about making the body healthy. It's a bold claim, right? Why can I say that? Because if you are an ologist, right? Excuse me. If you're an ologist and you are an endocrinologist and you specialize in hormones, if you're a gastroenterologist, you specialize in the gut, right? If you are a cardiac specialist, you specialize in the cardiac region, the cardiovascular system, right? So you pigeonhole yourself into these small little categories, these small little niches that you may know a lot about, but you never know how to actually address the rest of the body. And so today, we're going to tear some shit up. So just being honest with you, I am tired of people being put on medications. I am tired of people being lied to. I am tired of this hormonal, this HRT movement, this forget about changing your diet and lifestyle. And so I want to lay down this foundation of how you know when to tell your endocrinologist to screw off. If you want to get more vulgar, to off. And so if you go to an endocrinologist, okay, and they never talk to you about diet and lifestyle, fire your endocrinologist. If you go to an endocrinologist and they never tell you about the importance of sleep and your hormones, fire your endocrinologist. If you go to an endocrinologist and you get this basic ass blood work that is only designed for them to give you a medication, fire your endocrinologist. If you go to an endocrinologist and they do not look at your actual hormones, doing a Dutch test or doing a more in-depth, like a Dutch plus with a salivary adrenal, and they don't take a look at your gut, fire your endocrinologist. Right? Because when we talk about hormones, so many people think like, oh, I've got low testosterone. What does that mean? Right? Oh, if I have low testosterone, then I need testosterone. Right? Because that's what we've been trained to think. If we have a lesser amount of it, then we need more of it. Right? But in reality, our body runs those same sets of checks and balances. If we understand that we have low amounts of testosterone, then theoretically speaking, our body is going to have a positive feedback loop, which is going to go to tell the brain, to tell the HPG axis to create more sex hormones. So if it were just that easy, your body would have already done it by now, right? But instead, what we're doing is we're saying, well, since our body isn't doing it, let's just bring it in exogenously. Let's bring it in from the outside and give you that, and good luck, right? But they're never truly understanding why your levels went low to begin with. Okay, so we talked about the proper readouts, and when you go to an endocrinologist, your output is going to be drugs, typically, or surgery, maybe, if you have like a pituitary tumor or something, but usually just going to be drugs, or birth control, which is a drug, a horrible fucking drug for you to be on. Or you'll get surgery if you've got prostate cancer, and they were like, oh, you got prostate cancer, take your balls off and do a medical castration. Or if you're a woman and you're having hormonal imbalances, they'll take out your uterus, they'll take out your ovaries and do a full hysterectomy on you. But then they never guide you as to what happened, what caused that problem to arise to begin with. So you're left with no answers. And what you are left with is a body that is never able to reach full capacity ever again. Right? The World Health Organization defines health as 100% function of every single organ, cell, tissue. 100% function from 100% of your organs. If you only have 90% of your organs, can you ever reach 100% of your God-given potential? No. Did that surgery maybe save your life? Yeah, maybe. But you'll never reach your capacity. And so what do? We leave with a wrecked body. We leave with medications. One of the most common things I see in here is with hysterectomies, they never tell you about how to get your body to produce proper amounts of hormones. Right? Now in menopause, the adrenals compensate and they start to create more of your sex hormones, men, women, etc. Like, well, obviously men aren't getting hysterectomies, I would say yet. Well, depending on what classification you consider yourself as. But when it comes to hysterectomies, you're getting things taken away from you that are creating hormones. Our body needs hormones, right? Our body doesn't produce things in an improper way. It's doing things to keep us alive and to keep us to survive or allow us to survive. If we remove something that is vital to our body, then our body will never hit its potential. So it compensates, right? So hysterectomy, what's the number one thing that people suffer with hysterectomies is going to be weight gain. Fat. Fat is another way for your body to produce estrogen and some hormones in the body, right? So then we have increased adipose tissue. What does that do? Increases estrogen. Yep. What does that do? Puts you at a higher risk for cardiovascular event, puts you at a higher risk for type 2 diabetes, puts you at a higher risk for just overall toxin abuse, right? So we start layering in these things all because we had a problem that was never fully solved to begin with. We just tore it out. We're like, yeah, fuck it, start over, right? But you can't start over when you get those things taken out. Another thing, when we're talking about hormones, who's going to tell you about gallbladders? Right? They were selling gallbladders I feel like the black market of gallbladder sales went through the roof in the past 10 plus years, where they were just ripping out gallbladders left and right, never telling people to take anything afterwards. Nothing to help with fat emulsification. Right? So if you go to an endocrinologist and you say, hey, endocrinologist, I feel like I have low testosterone. They may have your health history and know that your gallbladders are removed. And they're like, oh, hey, whatever. Let's give you testosterone. Wait a second. Well, I need my gallbladder to emulsify the fat to create the cholesterol within the body to be able to produce sex hormones, as well as my liver function. What are you doing? So you get put on a statin. What's a statin going to do? A statin is going to cause kidney issues, kidney stones. It's going to cause nervous system issues. It's going to cause brain issues. So HPA, HPT, HPG axis are going to be sacrificed. Nervous system, so the nerve pain, you're going to have increase in pain, which is going to increase your sympathetic tone, increase your fight or flight response, which is going to continue to deplete your hormones. Right? So the whole point of this is, guys, hormones are rarely ever the primary cause of your problem. Right? It's symptom and cause-based testing, but there's always an underlying cause for why those symptoms are occurring to begin with, why your body had to respond to survive in the way that it has. All right? Let's talk about aromatase activity, right? So the CYP19, CYP19, that particular piece of the body, or the coenzyme of the body, how that pathway works is CYP19 turns on, activates aromatase activity. What can increase aromatase activity? For those of you who don't know, aromatase is where you take testosterone and you basically bring it down into estrogens. So testosterone goes to estradiol, and then you have androsterone that goes to estrone, and then you have it kind of sharing throughout, which your endocrinologist probably didn't tell you. Right? So what increases risk there? So inflammation is going to increase your risk. Do they tell you that? No. Alcohol? No, they're not going to tell you that. Right? Why would they? Even though it creates insulin or inflammation issues. Next one's insulin. Right? What if you have blood sugar dysregulation? You're not balancing your blood sugar because your diet is absolutely awful. You're going to be increasing conversion from testosterone to estrogen. So endocrinologists say, oh, hey, Jacques, you got low testosterone. Let's give you testosterone. But if I give you testosterone, right, and I still convert because I've changed no other factors in my body, right? I just introduced more of something that I had less of, then what am I going to create more of? A problem? Correct answer. Going to correctly convert more testosterone, not correctly, incorrectly convert more testosterone into estrogens, so estradiol, right? So these people that are out there like, oh, you don't have estrogen issues, you have low testosterone. Bullshit, dude. No. You're over-converting. Figured out why the inflammation is there. This goes out to all the peptide people too. Okay, and again, there's people who are using peptides appropriately, and then there are people who are using and abusing just like anabolic steroids back in the Arnold era. Right? A little bit's good, a lot of it goes a long way. Right? Where I've had conversations with people in the industry where I know somebody who met the actual founder from Russia who created peptides and was talking about how to properly use them. You don't see that in peptide therapy with the majority of the people who are out there who are promoting it. It's dangerous that way. Very dangerous. Okay? So when it comes to these problems, we have to understand, hey, what is our causative factors? What are the underlying causes for why my body is responding the way that it is? So we talked about all these other things, but are your medications also causing you to have issues with testosterone? Right? Are they? Maybe. Right? Could it be a statin? Again, lowering your cholesterol, and you're like, oh, my cholesterol is high. Well, guess what? Now your testosterone's low. Good luck. Right? It could be that. SSRIs can throw off damage. SSRIs can overconvert and over-aromatase into estrogen as well. So you have a guy who's like, man, I'm depressed all the time. I have no testosterone. I'm so depressed. And they're like, oh, well, take this SSRI. And then you convert more of your testosterone that was already high in the estrogens to begin with. And you're like, oh shit, now I'm super emotional. I don't like this. I'm puffy. I'm fat. I feel terrible about myself. I still have low testosterone, right? I'm pushing rope in the bedroom. For those of you who understand that, you're like, what the heck is going on? You never address the underlying cause, right? There's some drugs like SSRIs, statins, those types of things, ADHD medications, those types of things, in my opinion, need to be taken off the market. There's a ton of things to take off the market, but that is definitely some of the top ones to just get out of here. Birth control, same thing. Get rid of it. It's causing so many adverse effects on the body. And when we talk about the health of the body, we talk about hormones, we got to talk about the liver, right? Is your liver inflamed? If your liver is inflamed, or you have an MTHFR issue where you can't methylate properly, so therefore you cannot, excrete, you cannot get rid of toxins at an appropriate rate, what's going to happen? You're going to have this build up dirty air filter basically within your body. Hormones are going to be just freaking chaotic, right? And your body's going to be toxic. The more toxic you are, the more inflamed you are, the less testosterone you're going to have, or the more you're going to convert to estrogens. It's pretty freaking simple. Now, it's complicated, but it's simple at the same time. Testosterone is not the issue. And I know I keep talking about testosterone, but for women go in for progesterone. They'll go in for estradiol treatment or creams. Right? Progesterone, that's more of like a, what the fuck are people doing with progesterone? Right? When we understand progesterone is a normal thing that's happily produced within the body, and if we have low levels of progesterone, it's typically going to be due to diet, lifestyle, inflammation caused from diet and lifestyle, or an increase in stress, which is going to cause inflammation to the system, right? And we're going to have all this pressure on our body. Then we're going to have infertility, which is going to cause stress. We're going to have miscarriages, which is going to cause stress, which is going to cause more inflammation within the body. When we analyze the body, you have to analyze everything through and through. What I tell every one of my patients is the more honest you are with me, the more I can help you. If you're eating a shitty diet, just tell me you are. And we'll try to supplement things in as best we can to support you. But in the end of the day, you know, it's your body. It's your choice. You have the ability to put poison in you if you want to. And I'll just support you along the way. It's your choice. Throw off my results, right? But if that's what you choose to do because you want to, then go for it. If you don't want to stop eating gluten because it's delicious, and I know that it's delicious, then by all means, destroy your gut. Good luck getting rid of H. pylori. Good luck replenishing stomach acid. Good luck with your autoimmunity. Good luck with your thyroid. Good luck with fertility. But your endocrinologist won't tell you that, will they? Nope. Because what? They don't have time. No, they don't have the time, my friend. What can I do to get you out of here as quickly as possible so I can see somebody else so I can make more monies? And if I give you this, then it means you are a dependent drug consumer for life because I didn't fix your problem. Right? It's like going to a mechanic. It's like my tire is always falling off. I have no idea what's going on. It's always wonky. It's wiggling back and forth. And you go to the same body shop, and the body shop's like, oh, hey, let me put a new tire on for you. And you're like, oh, put it on, pop. And still doing the same thing. Like, what the hell? You go back to the mechanic. Hey, it's still doing it. Okay, let me give you a brand new tire, brand new rim. Okay, what the heck is going on? And another. How many times would you go to your mechanic before you're like, hey, what's going on? Why is this happening? And they're like, oh, well, your whole frame is bent. So your frame is bent. So when you're driving, it's just wobbling like that, right? Or your tires aren't balanced and you're wobbling. Now, I'm not a mechanic, but I'm fairly confident those statements were accurate. You can fact check me mechanics out there. I'm doing this to create a point. You wouldn't continue to go back to somebody that gives you the same result. That's the definition of insanity. Right. So at some point, like, listen, it's one thing if you're like, hey, I want to kind of like put duct tape over my, or maybe not duct tape because it's hard to get off. I want to put, well, yeah, we'll do duct tape. That's a great example. I'm going to put duct tape on my check engine light. Right. I know that I need to do more things to make this better. I'm aware of that, but I'm not ready for it. Financially, I'm not ready for it. I don't have the patience. It's not the right time in my life. I prayed about it. I thought about it. I meditated on it. It's just not the right time for me. Apply duct tape. Right? Now, if you apply duct tape and right afterwards you peel it off, it's pretty easy to peel off that duct tape. Well, not easy, but it's easier to peel the duct tape off, right? But if I let a week or 10 weeks or 10 months or 10 years go by with that same piece of duct tape on that check engine light, not only did everything fall apart, but when you pull off that duct tape, it is going to be freaking hard And you're going to have to get like a razor blade in there to scrape off all of the duct tape goo from the cluster, from the instrument cluster, right? You might as well just say, hey, I just signed up for surgery. Where else do they use sharp knives? Surgery. Okay? So if that's what you want, then that's what you want. But you have the right to know that that's not where you get health. You will never get health from your endocrinologist. Not once, not ever, ever, never, especially if they didn't do those things. If they don't find out underlying cause for you, they will continue to treat you as a consumer for the rest of your life. And the worst part about that is now you will tell that to your kids. If you have issues with your period and you needed a hysterectomy, you start the familial history of everyone in our family had hysterectomies once they hit menopause. So then your kid gets born, oh, your hormones are going to be freaking crazy, but wait till you get menopause and you can just get a hysterectomy. Or you know what? You're going to get one anyways. You might as well get one now. And then you created 2 generations because you're fucking lazy, didn't want to correct it yourself. You've created 2 generations of women who will never reach their full empowerment because you ripped the ability to reproduce out of them. And then that person's going to tell their kids, and then their kids, and then their kids. And then you just created a familial history that's going to show up on documents saying, well, everyone in my family had issues with their hormones and had bad periods. And now we got to get our uterus taken out and our ovaries taken out. Bullshit. Somebody was fucking lazy along the way. Okay? That's the bottom line. It's not the kindest thing in the world for me to say and hear and to do, but like, I need to be able to pierce the veil of this bullshit. And that's why I'm using profanity. I need people to wake up. This podcast is not for everyone. I promise you this year, it's going to be a lot more inflammatory than the last couple of years because I'm tired of it. Each year that goes by, I see people getting sicker and sicker. I see people getting lied to time and time again for hundreds of thousands of dollars with failed surgeries or failed supplement protocols because people are freaking maniacal out there. Right? And never talking about the issues with stress. Right? There's people who are like, oh, well, I'll just treat your hormones. Don't worry about the adrenals. Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. But then you got a pregnenolone steal or cortisol steal. It's like, great, I'll give you bioidentical Progon B, or I'll give you bioidentical progesterone for the rest of your life. Sweet. Right? Thanks. Now, is it going to kill you? No. But is it going to cause more harm? Yeah. Yeah. How's it going to cause more harm? Because you didn't fix the problem. You stuck duct tape over it. Right? And you can ride that out as long as you want to. Right? Bioidenticals, they work. That's what they're designed for. But they abused them back in, I believe it was the 80s, and increased risks of cancer with everybody. And so now there's this stigma around bioidenticals. It's like, oh, you're putting me on bioidenticals. I don't want cancer. Well, there's shit bioidenticals that they make in a lab, thanks pharmaceuticals. Right? And then there's the normal, the plant-based bioidenticals, and things are more recognizable by the body. Right? And don't have as harmful effects, and you don't use as stronger doses. You work with the body. And you work with the body as you figured out the underlying cause of why the progesterone went low to begin with. Okay? So your endocrinologist, if they haven't done any of these things, we haven't even gotten to the gut yet. We're just talking about stress, right? We're just talking about the adrenals. Right? And we got diet and lifestyle. And people in the standard American diet, how on earth, and this is a segue tangent, of course. Let's freaking ramp it up. Another load bar here. How our American diet is still the standard American diet is absolutely fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We have plenty of reason. We have new shit coming out trying to say that M&M's is healthier than I think it was like eggs and steak. Like, are you freaking kidding me? M&M's, sugar feeds cancer. And I've had people, I'm going to call you out. I've had people on Instagram get so pissed off at me because I said sugar feeds cancer. They show me the research. I'm like, you dumbass. They run a test with radioactive glucose, sugar, and they watch it go to the cancer cells. And like, there it is. So tell me, if every single organ, cell, and tissue in your body ate sugar the same way, you would just light up like a Christmas tree for them. You're like, oh, I don't know if it's cancer or not, but every cell ate it. I don't know. Right? No, it goes right to the cancer cells. It fucking feeds them. Sugar creates inflammation. Inflammation and toxicity creates cancer within the body. Cancer is a normal adaptive mechanism to a toxic person. Okay? Now, when we start this life out, we are already burdened with plenty of toxins through the placenta. Sorry, moms out there, if you're not taking care of yourself before you give birth, right, you can run the risk of passing horrible things on to your children. Moms, okay? Dads can contribute a little bit, but moms, you're giving like everything to the kid. You're giving the gut, right? You're giving the stress. You're giving everything to them. So if you don't, and if you're toxic, if you got mycotoxins, if you got heavy metals, if you got just poison in your body from shit that they're giving us in pharmaceuticals and unfiltered water, right? It's very overwhelming. But clean your body out. Clean it, right? So you don't have a sick baby that comes out on the other side. All right. So we have so many things that come into play when it comes to endocrinology. That the whole study of hormones, to me, like I'm so close to getting to the point where I stop testing hormones. I'm like very close to not testing them anymore. At least not in the beginning. Why? Because I've had 3 pregnancies this year, more than that total from just this year. 3 people get pregnant on protocols that had nothing to do with hormones. Nothing. We didn't even get their tests back yet. Pregnant. Right? Or we have people who have been going to an endocrinologist for 10 years or so for infertility, had a patient with 5 years infertility, doing this infertility journey. They're curious about IUIs and IVFs, and like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I'm like, well, let's just make you healthy then. If that's what you're going to choose to do, let's just do it. So we did a stool test on them. We fixed their gut. Then a couple weeks, pregnant. How? We reduced inflammation in the body. I mean, they understood it, they got it, but their endocrinologists don't. Right? When we deal with hormones, I stack this into fertility, but when we deal with hormones, when hormones are imbalanced, you're stressed, you're toxic, or you're infected. Does your endocrinologist test any of those? No, never. Not once, not ever. Number one, there's not an insurance code that's going to tell you, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, let's test that. Right? But if you think inside the box of fertility, how successful is fertility treatment? Not very freaking good, and it's super expensive for being pretty damn shitty. Okay? And if you do IVF, it increases your risk of childhood cancer for your kid that you're going to get. That's not good. What's some of the cancers? Reproductive cancer. So then your kid may not have the ability to conceive as well because you chose to go with IVF. Now, again, I'm not demonizing this at all. Well, yeah, I am. So some people choose to do it. Some people know the risks. I want everyone to know the risks. If you still choose to do it, then do it. Okay? But if you don't want to, and you're like, how do I get healthy? How do I fix my hormones? This is the shit that you're supposed to be doing. Right? Fix the gut. Fix the adrenals. Fix the relationship. Fix the stress. Stop doing shit that's causing your hormones to have to respond the way that they are. Right? And stop taking shortcuts. Just stop. I understand this world is incredibly fast-paced. I am well aware of that. I am. I see it every day. I have friends that are entrepreneurs. I have business owners who have patients and entrepreneurs as patients, and they're stressed out of their freaking mind. And women are infertile. Men are dealing with erectile dysfunction issues, cardiovascular issues, GI issues, okay, candida issues, estrogen issues, right? Like if you look at a man now compared to like the Arnold time, yes, Arnold time, there was plenty of anabolic steroids in play. But if you look at the standard American back then, they were at least thin or in shape. There's very few fat kids. Very few. And now we fast forward, we have some of the softest men I've ever seen before in my life. Right? We've got 2 kids. I see the kids that are being raised. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Right? And if I talk to them, they're like, oh, it's a genetic thing. I have a glandular issue. It's genetic. It's genetic. Like, little Junior can't do anything. The fuck he can't. Yes, he can. Or we have this pro-fat movement where it's like, I've had like 6 people send it to me where I'm a fat athlete. No, you're not. You're a fat person that tries to play sports. I'm sorry. You're not an athlete if you can't run a mile without being out of breath and falling over. Sorry, you're not. Okay, and you're not healthy. If you have to be fat to play the sport, that's not good. Fat doesn't make you strong. Muscle does. Muscle has to compensate for the fact that you're fat. So you may be able to throw a discus or a shot put or maybe swing a softball bat or something pretty strong, like pretty good. Yeah, good, right? What is the top thing that happens when we have offensive linemen in the NFL? What happens when they quit the NFL or they retire? What's one of the first things they do? They try to drop that fat as quickly as possible because they know they feel like shit being that fat. Okay? We have problems, ladies and gentlemen. As a whole, this entire country has gone to shit. It's gone to hell in a handbasket. And what's happening is we have this divide that's taking place where a lot of people are losing faith in medicine. And I'm so fucking happy that people are waking up to what medical treatments actually do to you. They don't do anything for you, they do it to you, right? And people are starting to learn these lessons. And so what's happening is we're creating this divide, this pathway where it's like, I don't know about medicine anymore. And then you got the polar opposite where it's like, fuck medicine. I don't vaccinate my kids. I've never taken medicine in my life. Awesome, right? And you have this division. And then you have this slice of the pie in between where it's like, as people hear more about the COVID shot and hear more about Pfizer, they hear more about the brainwashing is being done, they start going more and more towards the holistic side of things. What happens is you fall into these fucking traps with people who are fucking it all up for everybody. And I'm using profanities because I'm pissed off about this. Okay, I train docs and we try to work with others. We try to play nice with others. I try to play nice with oncologists and cardiologists and some other people. And not everyone's bad. I've got a patient, a cardiologist, a cardiac surgeon. He's a freaking phenomenal human being, an amazing person. And hopefully he's listening because I love you, bro. You're amazing. But what happens is you have these fucking knuckleheads, whether they have a degree or not, trying to give health advice. And it's just causing so much confusion. And it creates so much indecisiveness that what happens is these people are like, this is too overwhelming. I thought being healthy was going to be easy, but now I can't drink water. Now I can't. What are phthalates? Phthalates? What is that? What are parabens? What? Huh? And I can't do this. And to me, I'm like, well, the government shouldn't allow any of this shit to be in our products anyway. So that's one thing. But the other part is like, listen, let's start simple. Let's start somewhere. Because what's happening is people are like, this is too fucking difficult. I'm going back to medicine where I don't have to do shit for myself. They can give me a medicine for that. And I'll just blame my genes. I'll ride that home till death. Right? And then you have these people, not only confusing, but then you have these little itty bitty people who are like, oh, let me show you my ass for a minute. Oh, there it is. Oh, you want to be like me? All you need, oh, you're constipated? All you need is this. All you need is that. I'm sorry, women, but you need to stop being sluts on the internet to try to sell product because you're fucking people up. Okay? That's the button. Get pissed. Get mad at me for it. Fucking sick of it. Right? You're over here showing your body off like, oh, look at me, look at me. Get all these followers, and then you create a program or you create a product that's a shit fucking product that's no better than a medicine. At least say, oh, there's less side effects. Cool, but you're still fucking masking the symptom. You're still putting duct tape over it, and you're creating a consumer for life. What we should be into this for, if you're a doc out there and you're like, hey, I want to train with somebody, that I have a coaching program to fucking tell you everything that you need to know. But your job, if you want to enter into this program, is you need to let people go. You need to let people live their lives. Teach them. Doctor means teacher. Teach them how to be healthy. Your doctor should be teaching you how to be healthy. Everyone's unique. Everyone's different. I get that. But everyone needs different things. Your doctor should set you up for life with those same principles and practices that they know that when you are gone, that if shit hits the fan, you have all the tools in your tool belt to combat it. Example, somebody's with me and they drop 30 pounds, right? Just making shit up right now. They drop 30 pounds. Patients do that all the time by accident with me just because they're less inflamed. So say you drop 30 pounds, you finish your protocol and you're like, oh, I feel fantastic. Cool. And then they go back to the same diet that made them 30 pounds heavier. They gain 30 pounds. They're like, oh, damn. And instead of being like, oh, poor me. Oh, this happened to me. I don't know what to do. They're like, you know what? I know exactly what to do. Jacques yelled at me before. I just got to change my diet again. Right? And guess what you just did? You created somebody who is empowered, who is independent, and in charge of their own health. Right? Or an example, we have weird viruses going on now. So what do? I give protocols for patients who deal with viral infections or coughs or colds, whether that's marshmallow root for a stomach infection that a patient of mine was dealing with some peppermint, or that's nebulized silver or nebulizing some saline solution, or you do like an onion honey syrup or elderberry syrup, right? And then they have that. They have the email. They have how to do it. And say their kid gets sick again, they're not like, oh, God, I got to go to the doctors and get an antibiotic. They're like, what do I do? Support the immune system. Oh, little Junior's been pounding down Halloween candy. He's going to get a cold. So what do I need to do? Make some elderberry syrup so it's ready to go for him. Start dosing him while he's eating shitty food, right? Or better yet, tell him to stop eating the shitty food and don't give him Halloween candy, right? It is all our fault. What happens to us is all our fault. Now, I'm going to take and extract and twist a little bit with Rachel. So Rachel is somebody that I've had. Rachel Francis Mentoring is her Instagram handle. She did an amazing webinar yesterday. And so, when I record this. So she did an amazing webinar, and she was talking about whether we like it or not, we create the future that we have. We create the reality that we have. And so where our thought goes and our attention flows, energy goes. Right? So if I'm like, my life sucks, things are terrible, and I say that every single day, cancel clear, and I say that every day, then what am I going to be bringing to me? Things that are going to make my body right and make my body seem like, yes, that's exactly what it is. Of course, yeah, there's nothing I can do. I'm a slave to this, and that's all that I can live. It's only my genetics, or it's only my culture. All I have to do is take this vaccination or take this medication. That's just my life. That's just how the Moses were built. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Let's give an example. My dad's dad, so my granddad, died of a heart attack at a very young age. I think it was 51. I believe he passed. But that'll smack the shit out of me if I don't know that. But I think it was about 51 he passed. Right? And so my dad is now 68. I think he just turned 68. Sorry, Dad, if I'm ratting you out there. But he's well into his 60s. Right? And so if we believed, oh gosh, his dad had a heart attack, and now my dad's going to have a heart attack, and then I'm going to have a heart attack, then we'd be slaves of that system, thinking, oh, all we have to do is this. That's all we got to do. But my dad takes care of himself. Not as good as I would love you to, Dad, but he exercises every day. He's stressed out all the time, sure, but he is so stressfully resilient. It's ridiculous. He has his own things that he does. He has some hobbies that he likes to do as well. He has different ways that he educates himself and keeps himself upright, not upright, but just mentally strong. And so that leads into him not having a high risk for cardiovascular events, right? And anytime things has happened, he's done dumb stuff throughout his life. And I've told him it's dumb things or taking dumb things, and that happens, or taking too much pre-workout. And he has a heart arrhythmia, and he's like, what the hell did that happen? I'm like, well, you took too much fucking caffeine, right? Cardiologist would say, hey, you had a heart arrhythmia. Well, let's get you on a blood pressure medication. Let's get you on a statin. Let's get you on a baby aspirin a day. It's like clockwork. Like if somebody comes to me, it's almost embarrassing at this point. If somebody comes to me and I hear what their diagnosis is or was, doesn't even freaking matter on the test. I know exactly what that doctor is going to have prescribed to them. Right? An example of a woman that I work with, she has low blood pressure, but she had heart arrhythmias. Okay, so she went somewhere, got some testing done. Testing wasn't bad per se, but it didn't validate the need for her to be on these medications. So she had low blood pressure. They gave her a blood pressure medication to lower her blood pressure further. Does that make any logical sense at all? No, not at all. So she's tired. Was tired all the time. No shit. You're taking something that you already have low blood pressure and you're smashing it down even lower. I can't treat fatigue if you're taking something forcing you to have fatigue, right? But she took personal responsibility. She's been changing things. She has energy now. She sounds great on the phone. She sounds so much better. We had a call earlier this week. She sounds amazing. And I pointed that out. Like, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but like your voice and everything seems a lot clearer with you. You sound happier. You sound more lighthearted. Like it was a cool energy to receive over the phone, right? Not like what we usually have, right? There's usually more things we need to work through. She's doing great. Okay. So when it comes to this stuff, I know we went off on 300,000 freaking tangents, but at the end of the day, guys, our health is our responsibility, and endocrinologists are screwing it up. These don't have anything that besides air screwing it up. These naked influencers are screwing it up. These people who have no degrees are screwing it up. These parasite cleanse fanatics are screwing it up. These heavy metal detox people are screwing it up. Nobody's fucking putting the body together. They are sectioning off and quarantining off portions of the body and pretending that's all that matters. They're not treating you as a whole. Okay? They're just going by the, everybody has parasites, so everybody needs a parasite cleanse. Let's yell really loud at the same time and flood Instagram, and maybe my following will buy a whole bunch of these, and I'll make $10,000 a month, and I'll post about how I made 10 grand a month selling this shit from home. Right? Never mind the fact that parasites can only grow in a toxic environment. Never mind the fact that parasites can only get past the stomach if the stomach is compromised, if there's an H. pylori infection or low stomach acid. Oh, don't worry about that. Just fucking do the parasite cleanse. Right? So, what do we need? Be your own health advocate. Ask questions. If somebody's trying to sell you something, ask how it happened. You've got parasites. How did I get parasites, ma'am? Oh, you can't answer that question. Just do this cleanse. Oh, okay. Got heavy metals. Okay. How did I get those? How does this actually work? How does this get the heavy metals out of my body? Oh, you can't answer that either? Okay. Oh, so you're doing mold detoxes. Okay, cool. How do you know what mycotoxins I have? You're not testing. You're just telling me to do this. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, because you don't know that with mold you can have HLA-DR issues, and you can have candida overgrowth, and you can have gut infections due to lower immune system function, and your brain can be freaking completely erratic, and your cells are basically on a point of exploding. But all I need to do is do this. Bullshit. Be your own health advocate. Ask questions, and if people get mad that you ask questions, you caught them. Go somewhere else. If they don't have the information to back it up, whether logical or science backed, go somewhere else. Do not waste your money. Spend 2024 investing in your health, not throwing money down the drain because it's cheaper. It's cheaper. I'm going to do this because it's cheaper. Then you look at the end of the year and you spent cheaper money 50 times and you're like, holy shit, I could have actually get to the root cause of the problem 5 times over the price of what I paid for shit that didn't work. Fix the problem. If you're having hormonal problems, fix them. Don't just treat the hormones. Fix them. Is it an issue with blood sugar? Is it an issue with inflammation? Could it be genetic? Maybe. Do you have MTHFR? Maybe. Are you not able to methylate? Maybe. Are you deficient in B vitamins? Maybe. How do you know? I just take a whole bunch of shit and guess? No. Test it. Figure it out. Figure out how much you need. There's tests for all of these things. Okay? But if you want to fix your hormones, again, I'm so close to not testing hormones ever again. Because all people care about is one single fucking number on the hormone test. Men, all they give a shit about is testosterone. When I bring up sex hormone binding globulin, they're like, I don't care. How do I get my testosterone higher? Right? Or like, oh, my testosterone's 1,000. I'm like, cool, how's your free T? And like, I don't know. I don't know. Why? Right? Because free T is what you actually use. You only give a shit about a number that doesn't do anything for you. It's like having high T4. Great. That's inactive. What's your T3 look like? Right? Fix these problems. If you want to go into this stuff, like I have this thing right in front of me right now. So there's different types of things that can be activating here. So like an example, so that you can have issues where, let's see here. All right. So so we have cholesterol going in. So I'm looking at the steroid hormone pathway chart that you can find anywhere. If you type it in on Google, you'll see Dutch Test has a great steroid hormone pathway. And I'm just going to go through a couple things here. So as we're going through this, we have our pregnenolone, right? We have testosterone, then we have aromatase with the CYP19. Okay. And so they have this nice little chart that if you see, oh, hey, CYP19, what is CYP19 going to do? Maybe increased by obesity and inflammation, high insulin, forskolin, quercetin, genistein, bioflavonoids, white peony, licorice root, astrazine, which is super common, and rutin. Okay? So endocrinologists may say, you have an increase in estrogen. Well, let's just do DIM. Or these idiots that are just promoting themselves without clothes on, just take DIM, right? Wrong. You're still fucking making more of the estrogen. You got to fix it, right? Get rid of the obesity, fix the blood sugar, reduce inflammation, fix the gut. Gut will throw everything off. Everything. Okay? What about some other things here? That was just testosterone here. Let's talk about DHT. Let's find the DHT pathway. So 5A, so number 7 here on it. So 5-alpha reductase activity can be increased by insulin resistance, obesity, DHEA, and PCOS. Now, PCOS is a condition, but what does it typically cause? Insulin resistance typically causes PCOS. It also causes obesity. So instead of trying to find a way to block the pathway, how about get up off your lazy ass and start working on putting good foods in your body, reduce inflammation in your body, maybe move a little bit in your body, not too much, right? Because too much exercise can cause inflammation. If you can't clear it, not good for you, but you can control what you're putting into your mouth, right? What if you have candida overgrowth in the gut? What's that going to do? It's going to make you crave sugar. Sugars are going to make you have to make so much more insulin and develop insulin sensitivity or insulin resistance. And then you're going to have these insulin molecules that are not sensitive to glucose anymore. Blood sugar goes fucking haywire. You can't sleep. You have too much inflammation in your body, so you're over-converting into estrogen. You're making DHT instead of testosterone. You're developing PCOS, endometriosis, so on and so forth. And somebody's going to say, I have a clinical diagnosis of endometriosis, and my doctor said it can never be corrected. You're right. Your doctor can never fix your PCOS or endometriosis because your doctor doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Okay? I am mad. I am fired up in 2024. Okay? I'm saying this with as much love as humanly possible. We have to start taking our health back. Women, I want to challenge you because you are the most susceptible to hormonal interference. Your makeups have toxins in them. They have estrogen mimicking compounds in them, EDCs in there as well, right? You have these things that are found in everything you're putting on your body, your shampoos, your conditioners, your fragrances, right? Tampons are freaking poison for you. Birth control are poison for you. You have birth control, then you end up getting on an SSRI. You stack the two of those, you damage your gut, you screw up your liver, right? Then you become toxic. Then you have acne. Then you need to get Accutane. Accutane destroys the liver, and you keep on going. And then 10 years later, you're like, why can't I get pregnant? We have to take our health back. My biggest push for 2024 for women, track your cycle. Track it. Know where you're going. Know what it's like to be in your menstrual phase. Know what it's like to be in your follicular phase. Try to figure out what your hormones are doing. Ovulatory phase, luteal phase. Map it all so you'll know how to take care of yourself. In the beginning, right, for the first week when you're in menstruation, chill, rest. Don't schedule meetings. Don't go into CrossFit. Don't do high intensity shit. You need to rest. Follicular phase, most creative, get stuff done, right? Schedule your week around getting stuff done. Extra exercise. If you want to renovate the house, you want to build some stuff, you want to go to conferences, you want to go and do webinars or whatever that might be, do that in the second week of your cycle. You can do some into the third week of your cycle as well. And then going into the fourth would be where menstruation is coming back again, and you can ride the wave down into relaxation. Okay? Do these things. Break free from the binds of the medical community. Everything is designed to ruin you. Women, men, we're kind of too stupid to take a lot of stuff, but there's not really that many things that men are taking that are going to be causing so much harm. We don't take birth control. A lot of times we don't care if we're fat, so we're not going to jump on Ozempic and things, right? That's a whole different ball game of stuff. But when it comes down to it, as a whole, as a nation, let 2024 be the year that we take our health back. We know that some weird shit's going to happen. They're already talking about some other conspiracy theory stuff with some virus that crazy Klaus guy is trying to create over in Germany or wherever the hell he is with the World Economic Forum. And they're trying to plan for these things. So the more we can have stockpiled in our brain, the more we can take care of ourselves before a health event occurs, the less susceptible we are to the bullshit, the less susceptible we are to the lies. The other thing for this year is remember about germ theory versus terrain theory. Germ theory is if we come in contact with a germ, we get sick. Not true. Terrain theory says if our terrain is perfect, right? If our immune system's strong, nothing can hit us. Or if it does, it's going to be very fast. It's going to get out. We're going to be strong on the other end. Take care of yourself now. All right? So I'm going to end on that. If you know someone who needs shaken or waking up, send this to them. Okay, this is not for the faint of heart. This is for people who actually do want to radically change and transform their lives. And if you are somebody like that, you can tell my passion in this. I'm happy to help you break free from this. Okay? Put the work in. You deserve it. You're worth it. It's absolutely possible. You're capable, and you're absolutely worthy of having the abundant life you were created to have. But you have to take charge of your health again. On that note, have a blessed day.